Dear partners, dear colleagues, today is the 28th of March, the long-awaited day of our meeting. Welcome to today's meeting. Today, we are going to talk about very important things related to our business, to our activity, and our work in the area of multi-level crowd investing. Thank you very much for waiting, because for technical reasons, we had to delay our broadcast. I couldn't go live earlier, so thank you very much for taking it with patience and understanding. And the fact that we have almost 700 people right now is quite indicative of this. And I'm sure by the middle of the meeting, we'll have more than 1,000 people. So friends, I assume you can see and hear me well, judging by your reaction. You can give me some Zoom reactions like hearts and likes and thumbs ups, and it will mean that you can hear and see me. So I already see positive feedback from you. That's good. So friends, in this case, let me outline the procedure for today. The meeting will consist of two parts. The first part will be about the marketing news, both related to the RSW systems and also about the preliminary launch of the Micron Global platform for many of our active partners and leaders. It's going to be quite inspiring and motivated information, because we prepared for you quite an effective and efficient tool for your quick start on the updated platform that is going to happen essentially on the 5th. We're going to have an event, and that's when I'll tell you when we're going to launch the sales. But let me tell you right away, we're going to launch the sales exactly on the 6th of April. So the first part will be dedicated to the marketing news, and the second part of our today's meeting will be dedicated to the Q&A list that you guys compiled or sent in the recent days. Dmitry, how many questions did we have altogether? Around 90 questions. Even more than 90 questions you sent. We've structured them into different categories, eliminated those that repeat each other, and I'm going to give you the answers to most of them, and I'm sure that you will get all the answers you need. Some of the questions I repeat were duplicates because, and I already gave answers in the past during our previous meetings, but nevertheless, as they say, repetition makes perfect, right? Or as they say, repetition is the mother of learning. So today we are going to have a meeting 1.5 to 2 hours long. So colleagues, today is the 28th of March, I repeat, and today is the last day of the operation of a RSW systems platform. I'm talking about the possibility to purchase new packages within the 700 plus discount. We wanted to close down sales earlier, but due to technical failures related to payment, people were asking for an extension, then another extension, and symbolically, today's meeting will mark the closure of sales on RSW systems of new packages at midnight European time. We're going to close the sales on RSW systems. So today's day will make history as the last day when the last package will be sold on our platform that has worked actively for almost 12 years. Well, it's from December 2013, or better, January 2014. So colleagues, I would like to thank you for your active participation, for being supporters, advocates of Dr. Unitsky, because all of the activities on the RSW systems platform was related to the UST technologies and specifically to the funding of GTI. we've successfully and efficiently worked throughout this period. As for the optimization of funding is concerned of GTI, we had an entire 2 months dedicated to it from the 25th of January and today is the 28th of March. So we've fully worked for 2 months within that program, and that plan yielded tangible results. Last time, Dr. Nitsky and I discussed the interim results, what it gives to GTI in terms of its development, and we see that it produced a quite unexpected outcome, I'd say. And let me tell you, dear colleagues, all of you present here today live, and those of you who will be watching the recording of this meeting, all of you contributed a micron of effort, or some of you even a couple of microns of effort to achieve such a huge result, which is indicative or corroborates the title of our platform, From Small to Great. It is thanks to the efforts of hundreds of thousands of people that we've managed to create what we can see right now. And the UST technology is now viable and has passed all the technological risks related to the question whether the technology is going to become viable or not. And now we know that technology is viable, has proven its viability, and now we are at the next stage, actively participating in the next stage, which is helping the GTI group of companies to scale up and ensure the large-scale commercialization. And that was the main topic of our last week's interview with Dr. Nitsky last Sunday. So, friends, the bottom line here is that we are coming to the end. We can now put a full stop to the history of RSW systems. And the RSW systems will still remain available to every client. You will be able to go to your back offices there and track the news there about the development of the Micron Global platform, the UST technology, and then our different social media will be available as well, the Telegram channel, the chats, and other social media. Also, I would like to remind you, dear friends, that all of our resources on the RSW Systems platform will be renamed according to the updated brand, Micron Global. I'm talking about the YouTube channel and our main Telegram channel as well. That right now we have more than 15,000 people, if I'm not mistaken. Let me tell you the exact number. Right now we have 14,147 subscribers right now in our main international Telegram channel. It will be renamed into Micron Global. Therefore, friends, let me remind you right away, because we did receive answers about it, because it is part of these meetings. It is part of the first part of the meeting. So all the clients of previous platforms, if you want to have your data on Micron Global synchronized, you need to register on Micron Global platform using the same email address that you used either on RSW Systems or SWC or on SWIG platform. So in this case, all your data will be synchronized. I'm talking about the extract from the registry. And in the Micron Global back office, you will be able to click on Receive the extract from the registry, and you will be getting it in your email box. So that's how the data is synchronized. So let me tell you right away, to assure you, I would like to tell you that as far as the RSW Systems platform is concerned, it will be up and running, but without the possibility to purchase new packages. You will be able to finish your installments plans and enjoy the discounts within the promo offer 700 plus. So you will be able to pay for those installment plans until those packages are available to you. Remember, we have 3 rounds The first round is currently running. For some of you, it's already over, and now you have the possibility to make a repeat purchase with the same discount. So go into round two. So do take advantage of it, because such discounts will never be repeated again. There will be other discounts on Micron Global, and you will soon learn about it. And you will learn about the bonuses we prepared for our partners, our active leaders who focus solely on actively participating in the crowd investing. But let's go one by one here. So what else I wanted to point out or remind you? In the meanwhile, we will be preparing for the launch of sales, and the launch of sales will happen on the 6th of April, and the event to mark the launch will happen on the 5th of April. So in the meanwhile, you can prepare your structures, you can prepare your partners for that launch of sales. For this, to help you with this, we will assist you in any way we can. We can hold meetings in different languages, in different regions. For that, you need to submit an application, and we'll have a news about it published in our Telegram channel, which is our main source of, one of the main sources of information. There is a special form and a special group that you can go to submit your application for organizing tailored or individual meetings. And I will gladly co-host those meetings with you before the 5th of April with your local teams. And this is the first step in preparation. And the second step, or the second thing, is that you can submit an application for participation in the event on the 5th of April. Well, you will, of course, be able to attend it live, but I'm talking about a hybrid participation. You can go live with us in the format of a teleconference. So you will have like a group of people gathered together, and you can connect from your office, from your place, with video and audio feed to prove the entire world how big an audience community we have. So we have an entire week to prepare for that. So all of the technical organizational issues will be handled personally by Dmitry Slusar. He's head of our media department on Micron Global. He will be communicating with you on this topic, on this matter. So this is step 2. And step 3. So right now, we are gradually moving to that step 3. We will be giving you we will be revealing a little bit right now how the start of the operation on Micron Global will happen. So let me share my screen with you. Just give me a second, please. And we will all see something that many of you have been waiting for quite some time, and that's what you wanted to have. So friends, I hope you can see my screen. Yes, we can. Good. Okay, friends. In this case, let's open a new page called Micron Global. The old page, the old chapter is now closing. Now the last sales are happening on the RSW Systems platform, and now we're actively getting ready to enter that new door called Micron Global. So let me remind you, dear partners, that Micron Global is a rebranded platform, the successor of RSW Systems, where we're changing our approach to marketing, our tools for work, and where we're laying the foundation for dozens of years ahead. Because crowd investing in relation to Dr. Nitsky's technologies will be ongoing for many, many years. And it is very important to understand that this is not just a string transportation technology, because crowd investing is a platform tool that will help us raise funds and scale other existing and new technologies in the arsenal, in the portfolio of Dr. Nitsky. I'm talking about biohumus, eco houses here. This is also potentially participating in the commercial projects with the use of UST technology and other existing Unitsky technologies. So crowd investing, friends, for us already proved its efficiency in successfully raising funds because, well, we have 12 years to prove that, and thanks to crowd investing, the technology became viable. One of the plants already, by the way, was built and production launched using for the production of Utera, again with the crowd investing. And Micron Global will be using a marketing model that will help you build a long-standing career and help you earn decent money from commission as a reward for your agency and marketing work. And today we can boldly say that the launch of the Micron Global is work for many, many dozens of years ahead of us. And the first step that needs to be done by every one of us is to actively participate in the promo offer called My Team. It's maximum opportunities at the start of the platform, Micron Global. So that's how the promo offer is going to be called. As I said, the launch of the platform is a new stage in the development of the Micron Global ecosystem. We all got united around the ideas of Dr. Nitsky. And what is the offer about? So it is a special offer for those people who are ready to build their updated team from day one and show activity from the very, very start of the platform. So at this stage, let me tell you that you can already actively get ready to start doing that work. Remember, we started registration on the platform on the 26th of February 2026, and since then a lot of people were able to build quite huge teams there, because on our platform we have already several dozens of thousands of people, and those are partners that will be ready for the launch of sales and work. So colleagues, let me remind you, do not waste time. Right now you can register, you can verify, and you can check in advance whether the payment systems work there. So, and what you're going to see next will be motivating towards doing that even more. So let me remind you also that you have an opportunity right now in advance to submit applications through customer support to receive elevated ranks right at the start of the work. And those ranks will be assigned to you based on your previous merits and achievements on the previous platforms. How to prove that? Well, you have to attach screenshots or other documents that will be confirming your ranks on other platforms, like certificates, probably screenshots from your back office in your previous fund, and you will be receiving an equivalent rank on our updated platform, which will give you a head start at the start, and you will be enjoying increased commission from the referral program. So friends, what do we have? The starting discount that we're going to begin our work is 1 to 500, sorry. And you do know that on the RSW systems right now, the biggest discount was 770, biggest attainable discount. And the discount that we've working for the last 2 weeks was 700. Then with the launch of the Micron Global platform sales, it will be 500. However, there is one very interesting but or caveat. You can increase that discount thanks to your active actions. So first, this offer that I'm going to talk about will be valid until the 6th of May. In other words, full months. So on the 6th of April, we will start the sales, and that offer will be valid until and through the 6th of May. The packages that will be available for this particular promotion starts from $250 all the way to $10,000 packages. So that's the range of packages that will be available for this particular offer or promotion. So what is the essence of this particular promotion? Thanks to your active work, so what you can achieve, once you register, or if you have already registered on the Micron Global platform on the 6th of April, you will have 10 days to activate any package, either buy any package, either at $150, $500, or $10,000. Doesn't matter. So you purchase that package, you pay for it, and then you will have a discount $500. However, if you're active, and I'll tell you what you need to do, you will be able to boost that account to $700. But let's go one by one here. So let's talk about activation. What does it mean to activate? So once you register on the platform, if the sales start on the 6th of April, all the registrations made before the 6th of April, and including the 6th of April, will be your starting point, square one. So those 10 days will start for you on the 6th of April, if you registered before or on the 6th of April. So you will have 10 days to activate a package until the 16th of April. Then you start engaging or connecting your partners and clients, preferably new clients, and you will see that the offer, the promo, is about being active in working with new partners, new candidates, and new potential investors. So, you register a candidate, a prospect, on the 25th of April, or the 10th of April, for example, and they will have 10 days to purchase a package to enjoy discount $500. So you take the date of registration, and then they will have 10 days to purchase a package. If your candidate registers on the 4th of April, they will have only 4th of May, sorry, not April, 4th of May. If your candidate registers on the 4th of May, then they will have 4th, 5th, and 6th of May to purchase a package, to make use of this discount. So they have to activate a package. If they register on the 6th of May, then they will have only the 6th of May to activate that promo. And then after the 6th of May, that's it. The promo ends. The 6th of May is the final date when you can activate your investment package, which can be increased using, whose discount can be increased. So how does it work? What does it include, this offer? So thanks to your active work, you get a potential increase of your discount. So you invite partners in your first line for them to purchase those promotional packages. At the same time, you increase your rank, you participate in the referral program, and you get new benefits. And the benefits are, you can increase your discount from $500 to $700 if you meet the following conditions that are part of this proposal. For example, if you attract two partners who activate packages available, then your discount will be $600 for the money that you invest. If you invite 4 partners, then your discount will be automatically recalculated to have 650. If you invite 7 partners, then your discount from 500 will become 700, or from 650, 700. So it's all quite fair, logical, and rational in terms of business and in terms of marketing reward or gratitude from the platform to its agents. Because here it's a win-win situation for everyone, both for the platform and for our investors and for the entire group of companies, GTI. So why? Because activity equals gratitude in the form of the discounts that the platform offers. So how it's going to work in practice? For example, by the way, another important nuance. If you purchased a package in the past, so you will have a retrospective recalculation. So if you engage in activity and you start attracting partners to meet the conditions, your previous purchases will be also taken into account and discounts will be recalculated. But I'm talking about packages purchased on Micron Global. Packages purchased on the previous platform will not be taken into account. We're talking about within the same one platform and within the same promo. So let me give an example how it works in practical terms, how the recalculation or extra crediting will happen. For example, you registered on the platform on the 6th of April, and you activated a package for 250, and you received a discount 500, as per standard terms. So you get 125,000 pre-IPO shares. You invited 2 partners later. Now, your discount is going to be 1 to 600, which means you are entitled to more pre-IPO shares. And that new number will be recalculated and you will get extra 25,000 pre-IPO shares as a result of the recalculation. So you register on the 6th of April, you pay $250. After that, you invite 2 partners who do the same, also purchase packages. You already earn commission, referral commission from that, and automatically your discount will be recalculated to match the new discount, which equals 25,000 more pre-IPO shares. I think that's clear. That should be clear. Or let me put it in a different way before we move to the next slide. Or, for example, you activate your package, purchase a package, you invite 4 partners or 8 partners, then your discount will be 700. And then the same formula will be used to recalculate how many more pre-IPO shares you are entitled to. And all of those extra credits will happen instantaneously. It's already included in the coding. And locking in your success, which is the most important part. So you will lock in those discounts until the end of the offer. So during that period, you can purchase as many promo packages as you want with the established discount, whether it's 600, 650. So it's very important here that thanks to your active work, you'll be able to purchase more packages with the increased discount that you've earned. And you can purchase as many as you want. But also, I wanted to focus your attention on the fact that I understand that many of you have been owned pre-IPO shares of GTI for a long time now. Many of you have already made use of the very lucrative offer on the RSW systems. I'm talking about 700 plus discount. So it is very important for us to understand, in view of that, especially I'm addressing myself to our active leaders, active partners, that this tool is good for new people. It's for you to attract new people and make them part of the process. Of course, you can also make use of that yourself. You can use the referral program to increase your own discounts if you're continuing to make your personal investments. But I would like to make it clear and that you need to focus in your work on new people. That program should be applied to newcomers, to prospects. For example, I invite a Mikhail, Elizabeth, or Anton, and I need to show that offer to new people and tell them, invite 4 people, you get 650. Invite 8 people, and you get 700 discount. So that's how you need to steer your prospects. That's the direction you need to steer them to. So from the 6th of April, you'll be able to put it in full swing and start applying it to your partnership network and use it with your new partners. This is very important. But that's not it. This is just the first part of what's going to be available once the sales are launched on Micron Global. The maximum discount that our active partners can get is 700. And those leaders who will meet the conditions will be able to lock in that maximum discount for 6 months after the official end of the promo. And let's go back to the previous slide. The promo ends on the 6th of May. So in that time, in that period, if you met the conditions, if you invite 8 partners in your first line or more, you will get a discount 700, which will be locked in for you for 6 months. And there will be special packages available. There is a kind of a limitation on the kind of packages that will be applicable, that discounts will be applicable to. So here's how it looks like. So the minimum purchase or the minimum package is $1,000. And there's a limited number of those packages. There will be 300 packages at 1,000, 150 packages at 2,500, 100 packages at 5,000, and 50 packages at 10,000. So that's the limited number of packages that you as a whole community will be able to purchase at the maximum locked-in discount. I'm talking about people who will invite 8 people. They will be able to purchase the packages that you see in front of you within 6 months after the official end of the promo. However, remember, the pool is limited. If you are quick enough, you can purchase all of the 300, and then none will be left to the rest of you guys. So it's just the only limitation here is there is no limitation on how many packages you can purchase yourself. However, this is the pool that is available to everyone. If someone purchases all 300 packages at 1,000, that's it. None is going to be remaining for anyone else. So this is the kind of offers or conditions we offer at the launch. So the algorithm here is quite simple for your growth. You register, you purchase a package in the first 10 days, you invite new partners, which will help you increase your discount to 700, from 500 to 700 at the highest level. So that's the highest discount you can obtain on Micron Global. So you register, you activate a package, you have 10 days to do that after the registration and activation, and then you invite new partners, and after you do that, you will get extra pre-IPO shares after the recalculation. That's quite simple. So friends, it is now time to act. So the slides that I've just shown you in Russian are available in two languages, Russian and English. Next week, we are going to publish translations of that presentation into all of our working languages, and they will be pinned in all of our Telegram channels that we have in the languages that are available to us. I'm talking about Hindi, Italian, Spanish, and down the list. So all of it will be there in PDF. Also, we have an additional video explanation or clarification or video presentation of this marketing offer. So friends, it is time to act right now while we haven't yet started sales, because right now you can get ready for it. And it is because of this reason that we are organizing and are getting ready to host localized conferences and events to help you prepare your potential prospects and candidates to new packages, for you to understand what kind of new discounts are going to be offered and how to make the best use of those discounts to derive the best benefits. So the My Team promo, as we called it, is your best tool to a breakthrough growth at the start. You can strengthen your team and lock in the maximum benefits in our ecosystem, Micron Global, at the launch of the sales in April. So colleagues, I think this proposal offer is quite decent. It's quite rewarding. It will reward your marketing activities that will help you strengthen your teams, strengthen your marketing positions, and earn good money from your active efforts using our referral program that is available to you. So we have almost closed sales on RSW systems. Today is the last day. And you will now have the opportunity to prepare new people, to help them register, for them to choose the appropriate packages, so that at the launch of the sales would happen in your teams. So colleagues, in a nutshell, or use emoticons, smiley faces, or probably use the chat to give me the feedback of how you like the offer that you've just seen, whether you like it, whether it resonates with you, whether you feel that this is the kind of tool that is going to help you once the sales launch on the platform. I see tens, pluses, hearts. Thank you. Awesome. 100%. Well, I cannot read Vietnamese, unfortunately. Thank you very much, colleagues. Excellent. I see 10 plus. Vietnam shows thumbs up. Tens. Great. Great. I see positive emotions, smiley faces. Great, friends. So right now we have 855 people, and I see the most positive feedback. That's good. That's good. So here's what I wanted to tell you, colleagues. Over the recent time, we've performed quite a huge scope of work, and there was a very not easy or difficult task in front of us, which is to unite people from three platforms around something big that we all came for. I'm talking about string transport by Unitsky. And that was an uneasy task. And I'll explain why. Because quite a lot of partners in our community, well, partners can be split in different categories. Active partners, passive investors, passengers, observers, and every platform had its own philosophy, its own modus operandi, and pursued their own goals. depending on the platform throughout their history. And on the Micron Global platform, we had a difficult task to bring everyone together and consider the interest of everyone, both of passive investors and active partners and leaders that we have in different countries. But it is my deep belief that everything that we're doing right now, all the decisions that we are making, they take into account the interest of the majority. And the way we built work on the RSW systems did take into account the interest of everyone: active investors, passive investors, people who would like to be active, people who don't want to be active. And based on the reaction that you see, that I see, that you're giving, I see that we are on the right track. And if you agree with me, if I'm correct, give me some fire in the chat. Let's activate the chat. Give me some feedback, because the main message, the main purpose of today's meeting is for me also to see your feedback, your reaction, to see if you share and understand the decisions that we're making and whether they satisfy your needs. Why not keep the RSW platform for countries that cannot register on the Micron Global? Well, because, colleagues, the same rules apply. So I see positive feedback from you, likes, fiery emicons, hearts. So thank you, friends. And I see that most of us are like-minded people here, and it's very good news. So friends, drawing to the end of the first part of our meeting, let's summarize, let's sum it up, and draw a line and outline the most important points. First, the RSW systems is closing down. I'm talking about closing the sales of new packages or investment proposals. RSW systems will remain available for you to access your back office and enjoy the features in the back office. I'm talking about the downloading the extracts from your registry, checking your portfolio, etc. Second, on the RSW systems, you will be able to make repeat purchases within the promotional offer 700 plus. You will be able to make use of that in the next 12 months, because the packages, as you remember, with discount 700 plus are valid for 5 months. So you pay an installment plan for 5 months, then you get a small window of opportunity to make a second purchase and then a third purchase. So for 13 months more, you will be able to participate in those second and third rounds. Some of you might terminate their or pay off their installment plans earlier than the deadline. Some of you will be paying on time, but still. And thirdly, it's regarding the transition to the Micron Global platform. Use the same email address that you used on your previous platform. Your data will be synchronized with the GTI registry, and you will be able to get your extract from the registry. And on the 5th of April, we will be getting ready. Well, first, we'll be getting ready for the event on the 5th of April that will be dedicated to the launch of the sales on Micron Global. On the 6th of April, we will launch the actual sales. And for that, we are giving you a very awesome working tool in the form of a marketing proposal offer called My Team. And during that time, you can submit applications for local meetings that I will be co-hosting with you. And also, let me remind you that you can participate with us in the event in the teleconference format. You will be always able to attend it live online, but if you want to co-host it with me on the 5th of April, you can submit an application, and then you can patch in from your office, from your place, for everyone to show how an extensive geography we have. So those are the main bullet points, talking points that I wanted to discuss with you in the first part. Now, let me summarize whether you like. Let me ask you whether you like what you've heard so far. Okay, I see smiley faces, tens, hearts. Clear, someone says. We're ready to work. Good, good. So I see 10 plus, super. Thank you very much, colleagues. It's very important for me for us to have your feedback, and in this case, we can safely go to our Q&A session where I'll be answering your questions that you had prepared in advance. But before we do that, let's take 5 for our interpreters to have some rest, drink some water, and then I will be giving you. Then we will give time for you to get the answers to the questions that you've been asking over the last couple of days. So, in the meanwhile, we can take a video. We can watch a video. We can do it. That by now has become a kind of an unofficial slogan for our platform, for our work, when we did something, when we make the impossible possible. And after that small break, we will continue our meeting, and I will answer all of the questions that we've previously received from you using the form. Okay, so see you in 5-7 minutes. Well, dear partners, colleagues, we can do it. Indeed. Give me some feedback, please. It's time to act, and we can do it. Do you agree? I believe yes. So, colleagues, do not ask your questions in the chat. You had, colleagues, more than enough time to ask all of the questions that you wanted to ask using the forum. It's not going to be questions taken from the chat. I will not even take those questions because we had a special forum for your questions. Like 100 those questions have been asked. And colleagues, let's be respectful to each other's time. So thank you very much for giving me feedback on 100. As a feedback to my question whether it's time to act and we can do it or not. Okay, before we move on to Q&A, I would like to show you, just for a little bit, some features of your back office, future back office, for you to get used to it and to get your information from that particular source. So, can you see my screen? I hope you can. I hope you can see my screen. So, friends, right now, I am on the homepage of our website, micronglobal.com, and right now we're already actively posting information related to the Micron Global. And also, we've uploaded some of the archive news and updates previously published on RSW systems. So you can already actively familiarize with what's going on in the operation of GTI, in the operation of the marketing company, the Micron Global, and also in terms of everything related to our activity. So in the main section, in the news section, you can see all the updates. By the way, dear colleagues, give me some feedback. Dmitry, enable the chat. Whether you like the new website and whether you like the colors the color gamma and the UI, the user interface, whether you like it, don't like it, whether you have some thoughts about it. Yeah, this site is cool, nice, very professionally done. Thank you. Like, okay, thumbs up, like from Vietnam, another one from Vietnam. Good. So, friends, we've lost some people. We had 850, now we have 710. So let's be more active. Someone's saying very nice, 100%. Someone is asking about moving the discount to the new platform. Peter, we're not going to talk about moving or transfer of discounts. Right now, I've asked you a question, and then we'll go to Q&A according to the form. So Evgeny says the design of the Micron Global website is better than ever. Big Home MG, the website cannot be translated using Google Translate. Well, you can choose a language on the website itself, and the website is translated into 6 or 7 or 8 languages right now. Dmitry, could you please tell us how many languages we've translated our website into? 6 languages, and still counting. We'll be adding new languages. It's just the beginning. It all depends on all of us. All of us. We know that. We can do it, right? We are up to it. So we'll have at least 20 languages, I think, in the coming year. Next. So here's the deal, colleagues. Let me remind you. We have an unofficial rule of our meetings, since we have quite a lot of languages, people coming from different countries. So to streamline our communication, our discussion here, you all have on your phones or on your computers Google Translate. So write up your question in the Google Translate, translate it into Russian, and then copy-paste it in the chat. For all of our convenience, I will easily read it out in Russian, then that question will be simultaneously interpreted by our translators into your language, and then we won't have to spend time on me translating it on Google Translate. And probably you're indeed asking a very important question, but I cannot read it because I don't speak your language. So my request to you is, when you're writing something in the chat, please first pre-translate it in Google Translate, and then we will easily understand each other. So, for example, you wrote something in Vietnamese, I saw something written in the Czech language, and I don't want to miss something important, but I don't want to also spend time on personally translating every single comment. When we had fewer people in the past, then yes, that's what I did. I translated the questions myself. But now we have like 1,000 people or more, and it's quite difficult and time-consuming. Okay? So thank you very much for your feedback about the website, and let's continue. I will go back to the website. I will share my screen. Okay. Okay, as they say in Italy, allora, which means so. So right during the meeting, the update was published on the website about the My Team promo. You see, it kind of swift. So this is the My Team promo update with all the explanation how it works and how it's going to happen in the back office. You click more, and then you get the presentation that I've just shown you. But because my default language is Russian, so my presentation is in Russian. In your case, it might open in English. And then we will add, as I said, translations into all other languages. It will be available in all Telegram channels in different languages. In the Vietnamese group, you will have it in Vietnamese. In the Spanish group, it will be in Spanish. In the Italian, it will be in Italian, and so on and so forth. So this is, colleagues, very important for you to be receiving the same message. So let's move away from the presentation and go back to the back office. And in the back office, by the way, give me a second, please. Screen. And 1 second. So we can see your screen, by the way, Dmitry, or Maksym. This is Dmitry. And now we don't. Yeah, I kind of lost my browser here. 1 second, please. I don't know where to find it. Okay, friends. I hope you can see it now, right? Yes, everything is fine. So, friends, look. So again, I keep losing my my screen. I probably misclick on something. Beg your pardon. I'm so sorry. I'm acting stupid here. But we're all friends here, don't worry. Yeah, but I'm calling a spade, right? Okay, so what I wanted to show you, dear colleagues, is first, we have the main page, the homepage of the website, the welcome page. We're in the news section. Here, you can see pictures of random people. However, that part will actually host photos of our real leaders. Remember, in the past, I told you, for you to be among those faces, to be on the homepage, you had to fill in the feedback form that Dmitry, as head of the media department, shared and told you about the technical requirements that your photo needs to have for your photo to land on this page. So once it happens, for example, we have partners here. So here, you will have your referral links of our partners on that website, on that page. So it will allow you to promote yourself as leaders from different countries and regions. Remember that on the Micron Global platform, it is mandatory for you to choose your sponsor. And if for some reason a person comes to our website from the internet, he hasn't been referred, but he wants to become an investor and partner, a user on our platform, he can get that referral link on this page from a person that he chooses. Let me scroll up. I'm doing it on my keyboard without haste. Okay. So in here, we will have our leaders right in the front rows with their referral links. So, and a person coming from outside who hasn't been referred, he'll have or she'll have a selection of people whom they want to work in their country or in their region, and not necessarily from their own country. A person will have a right to choose whom to work with. This is quite an important part. Let me remind you of it, because probably you would like to be one of such partners who would like to be placed here, and you have this opportunity. So, friends, going back to our back office, as for the news, I click here, and I am redirected to news. We already have populated that page. We have some archived news too. So as for the accounts, my portfolio structure, quite a lot of different metrics. You can browse through all of them, check it out, figure it out. It's quite user-friendly. And obviously, we see already some personal information. I'm not going to show it to you, obviously. But the reason I wanted to focus on it is for you colleagues to start testing it, putting it in practice, and start using all the features of the back office. Quite a lot of different metrics for your convenience, for your convenient work with your partners, which will show their efficiency and everything related to it. So friends, as they say, welcome. And this is a very effective tool for all of us. Okay, friends, as far as the back office is concerned, please give me some feedback. At first, we talked about the website itself, about the main page, and what are your thoughts about the back office and its features that it has? Give me some feedback. Awesome. And by the way, if you want to write something and if you want me to read out your comment, do not forget to pre-translate it into Russian, okay? Okay. Very functional. Well, that I can understand without translation. Tens. Okay. Good, super, very good, heart. 1000%, okay, plus. I haven't seen a single negative comment. Someone is asking, why do you need people's photos on the website? I've just told you why we need those photos. If we're talking specifically about these people, there is a service that provides such media materials for marketing purposes. It's like stock photos, I think they're called. So there is no personal data violations here. So those people are like fillers, the people that you see on top of the website. It's just an example how it might look like when your pictures will be there if you wanted them to. Yeah, right now we're using stock photos because we're waiting for our leaders' applications. And those people that Maksym showed in the feedback section, they are already there. And all we need to do is to add their referral link. So as Maksym says, that if a person lands on the website, but they don't have a link, they can use those people's links to sign up. So do not forget about this feature. It's a very good feature for your personal development and team development. In amazing interface, good work, 10 plus. I see. Okay. I see like smileys in the form of fireworks and stars. Very user-friendly, practical, simple, and well organized. Thank you. Well, we've been getting ready for it. We've been preparing it for quite a long time. We've troubleshot it. There were quite a lot of different things that we had to rectify. And also, you remember, we had a force majeure in winter related to the funding optimization. And then we worked what we had. And as far as the platform is concerned, I mean the RSW platform. And in parallel, we've been getting ready to launch our platform. And I see from your feedback that we've done quite a good job out of it. And I see the feedback from you. Okay, colleagues, in this case, we can move on to the Q&A. We can We can disable the chat. Thank you very much for your being active, for your feedback. Thank you very much. And now, friends, let's start the Q&A session. The questions that you've been submitting over the last time through form can be split into 7 different categories: technical questions, transition from the platform, and account synchronization. I kind of already addressed in part. Then financial questions, installments, deposits, commission fees, dividends, IPO, legal questions, and that kind of category. Next, commercial are targeted projects and implementation of those projects in different countries. Affiliate program and company strategy, it's 5th category. 6th category is quite poignant questions that you've raised, acute questions, and then technical support and access. So let me quickly go through all of them. Okay, colleagues. Do I have to register with Micron Global and transfer my Skyway SWC RSW account there if I've been investing since 2016? Well, first of all, there is no such thing as mandatory registration. You decide yourself whether to register or not. But let me remind you that you can invest in GTI only through Micron Global. If you have already packages available on RSW systems, you will be able to pay for them on the old platform. If you do not plan to invest anymore or do not plan to participate in the referral program, then you don't have to register on the Micron Global. If I don't create an account with Micron Global, will this affect my previous investments, and where will I receive dividends? Well, how can it affect your previous investments? That's not a correct question, because here you need to have some basic understanding of where you were investing into. You have a convertible loan agreement entered into with Global Transport Investment. You haven't made that investment agreement with any of the fundraising platforms. You're investing in the parent company. It doesn't matter what platform you're coming from. You are a client of the platform, but you are an investor in the parent company, parent holding company. So it will not affect your previous investments. Is it true that by the 5th of April, we will see all our investments from other platforms in my Micron Global account? Well, I'm not sure whether you'll be able to see. It depends on whether you register or not. For you to see your data, as I said, you need to register using the same email that you used on the previous platform. Someone is writing that they had around 400 investors in their structure. Half of them no longer invest. Are they required to switch to Micron Global? Well, again, colleagues, that's a repeating question. You don't have. You're not obliged to do anything. But let me tell you this. For you to ensure that your data and your extract from registers are kept safely, I said it on numerous occasions that we're living in times of instability where the internet data can simply disappear. Hacks can happen. Servers can be crashed down that keep the data. Anything can happen. So you need to keep your data on as many media as possible. For example, download the extract from the registry on a memory stick on your computer, then print it out on paper A4 sheet, and then you can generate a certificate. You need to have that information on different media because the extract from the shareholders registry is your main document. So what I'm saying here is, if, for example, if you were a client on one of the previous platforms and an investor in UST, then of course you should keep your fingers on the pulse and have access to information. And Micron Global will be providing that service with synchronization. So let me put it as is. There is no mandatory requirement to register, because Global is a marketing company, and marketing assumes being active. So the platform is designed for active partners, those who will be actively participating in the marketing plan, who will be building careers, and who will be moving forward with us. But even if you're a passive investor, if you just become a client on our platform, I don't think you will be any worse for it. But if you don't want to, there is no mandatory requirement for you to sign up. I just wanted to tell you from my own experience, and that I would recommend you save your extract from the registry on different media, because this is your main document. I verified with Micron and transferred my rights. Why haven't all my pre-IPO shares from SWC have been transferred? Well, right now, not all of your pre-IPO shares might be shown in your back office, but you can click on the button, get the extract. And when you get that extract, when you click that button, to your email, a letter will be saved with all of your previous purchases, with all of your pre-IPO shares that you're entitled to. So what you see on the screen might not tell the real story. What matters is what you receive to your email next. Why did I have to register with Micron Global if the RSW platform already exists? Well, colleagues, look, the answer to that question is in the video interview that we've recorded with Dmitry Slusar several years ago. It's available in all of our groups in Telegram channel. Please watch it. I don't think I have to repeat the content of that video. Just spend your time and do self-training, self-education. Dmitry, could you please copy-paste the link to that video in our group? It's been translated in all of the languages, working languages of our community, and there you will see all the information. Next. Next. Where was I? Many people bought pre-IPO shares on SWIG in TNG account in 2017 and missed the conversion. When will it be possible to convert pre-IPO shares from TNG so they would appear in RSW systems? As I said, we're going to address that matter sooner or later, and it all depends on when Andrei Khavratov will resolve his own personal situation and when he will be able to help us with this situation. So that moment came, as you know, and I'm sure in the next couple of months, the SWIG clients will have this matter resolved for them. I'm talking about access to the back office. I think it will happen very, very soon. So there is like a more or less firm hope that for many of the SWIG clients, that problem will no longer be a problem. Because we're talking about a huge chunk of our investors here, and I hope in the nearest future a solution will be found, practical solution. But how it's going to be, we will very soon see. How can I transfer investments from the previous project to the new project if we miss the recommended deadlines? I don't know what you're talking about here, I'm sorry. I registered a partner, but I don't appear as their sponsor in Micron. What should I do? Well, you need to go to the customer support, and if a technical failure happened, that partner's account will be placed under your name, and justice will be restored. Can I skip registration without... Okay, I already answered that question. Is there a possibility that Micron Global will open up to investors from Russia and other countries who are currently unable to participate? When will the US be able to join? Yes, there are such prospects in the future, possibility in the future. For that to happen, the company will have to go through a series of procedures to make sure that the company obtains all the permits and licenses according to the local regulations for us to be able to operate in accordance with the legal legislation and in according to the transparency principles, etc. And I think it might happen this year, early next year at the most. So within 1 year since the launch, we will address that issue, and I'm sure we'll be able to work fully globally. Will it be possible to top up accounts using MasterCard and Visa cards? Yes, in the near future it will be possible. As I said, right now we are negotiating with several payment service providers, and who will allow us in the future to accept payments from bank cards, MasterCard and Visa cards from different regions. We are working on it, and it's non-stop, but it does take time, so you need patience. I'm paying a 2,500 installment plan in RSW systems. Will the remaining payments be made to the RSW systems or Micron Global? Well, all of your previous installment plans will have to be finished on the platform they were bought on. How long can I continue paying installments on the old RSW website? Will I be able to take out another installment plan later? Yes, you will be able to continue paying installments on the RSW systems. Everything that you purchased in the past and still active, you will be able to pay for. That opportunity is known to be disabled. We're not going to move those installment plans to the new platform. You will all be doing it on the old website. What should I do if I cannot make the next installment payment in RSW? I paid the first month, but now the system won't let me. Go to the customer support. How long do I have to make a late payment on an installment plan before the plan is cancelled? I think you're talking about 700 plus, right? So you will be given a 30-day window between the first round and the second round. And then it's 5 months of installment plan, 30 days, and then the second round. Next. Which payment system should I use to pay installments in Ukraine? If I'm not mistaken, if you're from Ukraine, you can already use your bank card, and obviously you can use crypto. Micron Global's deposit withdrawal fees are very high, 0.5%. Please reduce them to RSW levels to avoid creating a negative environment for investors. 0.5% is not a high fee, and it's a fee charged by the payment system, not for us. On RSW systems, the fee was higher, especially when applied to card payments, so you're not entirely correct. 0.5% is quite competitive, and the platform here cannot pay fees instead of for investors, because if the platform pays for all the investors their fees, it will add up to quite a big amount of money. So yes, the platform pays some of the fees, but also those fees are shared by investors. The timer for depositing cryptocurrency is too short. Time is running out before the money arrives, and we're wasting days. Probably you're talking about the RSW systems platform. But everyone who wanted to pay did so, and who did it through the customer support. They went to the customer support, and there are no such clients who wanted to pay and couldn't do it. Those issues can and have been addressed through customer support. Don't worry. I paid for a 1 month installment plan, $100, but due to a job loss, I couldn't continue paying. Is it possible to refinance this amount and transfer it to my current rebranding 700 plus installment plans? Tech support is responding with bureaucratic refusals. Well, if we're talking about the previous purchases, they cannot be moved to Micron Global or integrated into 700 plus. We're talking about very juicy discounts here. Well, by saying juicy, I'm using like a slang term here, but they're very lucrative. If you made previous purchases and made previous investments, you cannot incorporate them in the current discount, and the tech support is entirely correct in refusing to do so. How will RSW packages paid in installments gradually transferred to Micron Global? No, there is no way. We're not going to transfer RSW packages in installments to Micron Global. We're not going to do that integration because there might some technical problems happening, which will result in data loss. So we streamlined that thing as much as we could. What refers to Micron Global happens in Micron Global. What happens on RSW systems happens on RSW systems. We split those two things apart. So we went through that category of questions. Now, everything related to dividends, IPO, and legal issues. When will investors start receiving dividends? I'm interested in the terms and conditions of payment, and in which quarter of 2026 will they be credited? Okay, colleagues, we have a very useful document for all of us. It's on gti.holdings website, and the document is called Development Strategy of GTI, and everything related to IPO, it's right there. The revenue structure of commercial products, right there. You can see all the information in English, of course, if you want it in English. Now, as for next question. We have a very good mechanism here of self-education. If you are an investor in the technology, you simply need to know where the answers to your questions are, and they are all right in front of us on the official website of the GTI company. And as for the IPO, it's there. The shaping of the holding structure and the legal base for IPO, the prediction of capitalization of GTI, everything is in detailed there. And I also answered those questions in the past on numerous occasions. So I don't want to repeat myself and go in loops and answer that question again. When will the company launch its IPO? Again, another question that people have been asking since 2014. And how will our shares be reflected on the market after the listing? But how am I supposed to answer this question? How will our shares be reflected on the market after the listing? Please help me out here. How am I supposed to answer it? There is no such thing, reflection of the shares. You mean they're like the ticker of the shares? The symbols of the shares? Let's not count the chicken before they hatch. And we still have a way to go before the IPO. And if you watched our interviews with Dr. Initsky, you must have realized by now that the company doesn't need to launch the IPO for the investors to receive their payouts. All we need to see is the commercialization of several projects and for the company to start receiving orders from actual clients and payments for engineering works. because the company has quite a lot of different sources of income without even starting the construction work within a specific project, because the UST Incorporated is an engineering company, first and foremost. And its revenues are from the provision of its engineering services. And any project starts with engineering, design engineering. And before any house is built, any kind of edifice is erected, a client will pay 5 to 10% of the total project cost on design engineering, on engineering design, or feasibility study, the design itself, and many other items that are part of that 5 to 10% of the total cost. So if a project, commercial project, costs $1 billion, then $50-100 million will be companies' revenues even before the construction starts. And I've been saying this for several years now during different meetings. So please invest some time in research and go back and rewatch those meetings. Yes, in the near future, we will edit some videos for you. We will have special training for everyone, and there will be no such questions left. But at this current stage that we are at right now, I recommend colleagues to go to our YouTube channel and search through the titles and the tags, and you will find the answers to your questions for sure, because they've been asked dozens of times, and dozens of times they've been answered. Next. Here's another question. Quite an interesting. Whose accounts are the investors' funds going to, Micron or UST? Is the contract signed with UST or only Micron? Is it a convertible loan agreement? Well, it's not UST, but it's GTI as the parent company. The person asking this question probably does not fully understand the legal structure of the company. First of all, we invest in GTI Holding, and on the Micron Global platform, as it was previously mentioned, what is the transparency about our activity? The Micron Global platform does not accumulate a single penny received from the client. Micron Global is just an intermediary, a bridge, an online platform through which the client gets access to the opportunity of becoming a co-owner of the GTI holding. So the accounts, the bank details, the payment details that you see when you make a purchase in your back office on Micron Global, those payment accounts are controlled directly by GTI Holding. And the holding GTI company, the GTI Holding, after receiving that money, will spend that money on the operation of the UST Incorporated. So first, it's the holding company, because it's the founder of UST Incorporated, a 100% owner, and we are co-owning the GTI Holding. So we, as the Micron Global platform, receive fees after we provide the service, and we see that fee is included in our compensation plan. So we, as agents, enter into a partnership agreement, and we earn commission for our agency work. But the money from the investors go directly to the parent company. So the money does not stay with the platform as it used to be in the past. In the past, the money went to the platform first, and then the platform directed that money to the bank accounts of the parent company. But also, talking about RSW systems, yes, RSW system didn't hold the money either. It was always an intermediary, and the money always went directly to GTI. And RSW Systems, if you remember, was the first and the original website when the crowdfunding was launched in 2014. Next. If Micron Global goes bankrupt or closes, how will investors' ownership of UST pre-IPO shares be guaranteed? What is the relation between Micron Global and investments in UST? So a client receives a extract from the GTI shareholders registry. For example, tomorrow Micron Global disappears. How will it affect your ownership of the parent company? In no way. Micron Global is not responsible for keeping the client's investments. So when you order your extract from the shareholders registry, it is not the Micron Global that provides that extract. It's the GTI company that provides it. Ahead of future dividends, is it possible to create our own bank to hold dividends at interest and issue a corporate credit card for accessing funds worldwide? Well, you know how difficult it is and how much red tape you have to overcome to create your own bank? Well, if you want to do that, good luck. But right now, we have different tasks ahead of us. We are in need of raising funds for the company, and we are optimize funding. Is the high-speed rail in the US already under construction, or are there more land allocation issues? Has the land been purchased from the Colorado farmer? What stage is this project at? So right now, there haven't been active work in the United States right now, as far as I can see. The process is ongoing, but it's not as active as last year. Right now, the company is going through certain restructurization. If I'm not mistaken, they now have a new CEO of the company, and with his arrival, some processes had to be changed. And as they ask next, what is the question? What about the construction? For now, there is no construction because the company cannot yet raise actively funds for the construction in the United States. So again, all I can tell you, it's restructuring is going on. Are projects currently being implemented on the ground for ordinary people? When will projects in India be launched? The recent stream mentioned the high-speed rail project in Vietnam, but a hub in the US was not mentioned. Does this mean a shift in priorities to Asia? And how will this affect the issuance of bonus shares to the American company? Will they be replaced with Vietnamese ones? Well, one does not replace the other. If Dr. Unitsky and his group is going to establish a infrastructural development corporation in Vietnam, for example, and that corporation will be based on creating an infrastructural corridor with high-speed transportation, then of course, attention will be focused on implementing high-speed transportation in that new region. But as far as the United States are concerned, this is quite a huge market for UST. Even without the high-speed transportation, there are quite a lot of different tasks that UST can address with already developed products. I'm talking about passenger urban and cargo transportation. So one does not necessarily has to replace the other. So GTI and we as co-owners and investors is moving towards maximization of optimization of funding and also streamlining the commercialization of the technology. So that's the out-of-the-box approach that Dr. Nitsky mentioned during the previous interview that we had last Sunday. So that out-of-the-box approach is called out-of-the-box because that's not the approach that other companies took when going to the market. That's something that Dr. Nitsky decided to do. And again, if new markets will be developing in higher speed transportation in other regions, then probably high speed will be implemented in parallel in different regions. And the United States territory will see the implementation of other commercial projects. Time will show. This is my personal opinion. This is my vision. So I'm not saying that's official. That's how I see it, and that's how I feel it. Has the construction of the string transportation begun on the territory of Sosny Resort in Belarus? A couple of weeks ago, a news digest was published by UST, and there was information about Sosny. Do you think that every week something will happen, like new supports will be built? It's a construction process, and it's a design process, engineering design process. In 3 weeks, nothing much can happen. Should they be like taking pictures of every new hole they dug or every brick they laid? It takes time. If the project is under development, it doesn't mean that every day some major construction works are going to happen. Not enough time has passed, so let's wait. And let's understand that it's not like building a brick house. You can build a brick house in 1 week, the envelope. But the project in Sosny Resort, it's not a big project, but still, it takes time. The company is designing the rolling stock right now and the associated work. So as soon as there is new updates, those updates will certainly be published on the website of the UST Incorporated, and we will post that same news on our platform. So our platform will not publish the official news and photos before the company itself is going to do that, UST company. Next, affiliate program and company strategy. How should I structure my team correctly? Well, this is why we are starting our marketing activities, for us to start working with our leaders in the regions. As for building your team and structuring your team, we're going to talk about it during separate meetings where we're going to discuss marketing-related issues. What I can tell you now is that we will surely have a uniform training system. We will be using a uniform training tool, AdMix Reality app, and we're going to launch it in the next 2 months for general use, because we've successfully tested it with several focus groups, and that tool proved its efficiency, and it helps you answer the question how to build your structure correctly, your team correctly. And it's done in a very simple way. First, you learn yourself, then you teach someone else, and then you teach that someone else to teach. So AdMix Reality app will address that need, because the most important thing in our business model is the duplication system, so that the person who comes to you and becomes your client and partner would be able to do what you did, to do those exact same steps and actions. So I can tell you that that tool is going to be our go-to tool. Now, so marketing-related questions and everything related to that will be discussed in April, and then we'll gradually launch the training system. How do you see the development of the multi-project infrastructure in the next 3-5 years? Which industries will be the most promising within this system? Quite a good question. I mentioned it probably in 2017, first time, when I first saw the interim results, significant milestones achieved by the UST Incorporated. And I often shared my vision and ideas with our community when I spoke in public. And I said that there is a lot of future in crowd investing, and that new, quote-unquote, sales and fundraising model is going to make a lot of breakthroughs. And many years later, today, I can tell you that the multi-project architecture will be about us, or better, we helped create a technology from scratch that never existed before using crowd investing. So why not use that same model when we move on to other UST-related projects, to scale up those projects that what we've already created. I'm talking about us participating in specific commercial targeted projects where we can use crowd investing to raise funds for any project, because by then the technology will already be in full deployment. So just imagine in the very near future when we see that the GTI group of companies starts scaling up, the company starts receiving order, starts paying remuneration, then we go into the market and we will be able to sell our shares, by then actual shares. And what's going to happen in the near future? We will see the capitalization of the technology. We started receiving remuneration and decided to, for example, sell a couple of our shares and receive money from that, right? And plus dividends. And then a project might be proposed to build a couple of kilometers of tracks with 5 to 7 years payback period. Will we have doubts about raising funds or funding such proposal? Of course not, because the model has proven its viability. Or let's take Uterra production plant. As far as I can see now, the Uterra plant in Ras Al Khaimah is scaling up, doing market penetration, and they're also scaling up and now shaping the demand for their product. And in the near future, I'm sure the company will start showing some good performance, financial performance, which will allow that company to pay rewards to the investors who invested in that project, because the plant and the entire Uterra business is a fast payback project. It will be paid back in literally a couple of years. It's a quick project, and to scale up, such projects will be profitable as well, because right now the company has just 2 plants, one in Belarus and one in the Emirates, and we need hundreds of such plants in 5-10 years. And it's a very valuable product they produce. It allows to restore soil, and the results obtained by the clients, the consumers of that product, are amazing. And there is not a single competitor out there that can compare with the Dr. Unitsky's product development. So my vision is that within the Unitsky's ecosystem, let me put it this way, his ideas that he authored, within that ecosystem, we can use crowd investing to raise funds for dozens of years ahead of us. In 2014, I told my family, I told my relatives, my loved ones, that if this project becomes viable, we can be engaged in it our entire life, and then our children can continue our business. And that's what's happening. I've been working it for 12 years now. My children are growing, and I realize they're showing interest in it as well, to be part of it in this way or another. So, colleagues, we have quite a lot of future ahead of us, quite huge prospects. So just revise your own business and see what you would like to focus on. Focus on crowd investing with Micron Global, or focus on something else. But weigh all cons and pros, because the advantages that our platform offers are very quite limitless. Among one of them is for you to be able to work from any point in the world, from any location in the world. You're basically selling an information product, a unique opportunity to become a co-owner of something that will be capitalized 100 or 1,000 times over. And there are like a whole set of 20 other advantages to it. So what I'm driving at here is that essentially what we have on our hands is a very unique tool. I'm talking about both about the crowd investing platform and the technology that we're promoting, and we can be engaged in it for many, many years. So this is in reply to the question regarding the multi-project architecture in our ecosystem. What is the most important change in partner thinking needed now to realize the potential of the new multi-project architecture? Well, quite a philosophical, deep question. And let me try and answer it on the 5th of April for you, so that everyone can use it as their orientation once we launch the sales. Very good question, by the way. I will surely answer it on the 5th of April. Next category is like category of quite acute questions. Criticism, doubts, and transparency. First, fairness of discounts. Why is the company still offering huge discounts? What benefits do early investors benefit if the conditions for newcomers are now better? How does the company plan to compensate early investors? If Unitsky says everything is fine, where are these discounts coming from? This indicates that things are bad. Well, colleagues, the partner who has asked this question, I'm sure, is out of the loop and hasn't kept him or herself updated. So let me start from the end. If Unitsky says everything is fine, where are these discounts coming from? Dr. Unitsky on the 25th of January, it was on the 19th of January, if I'm not mistaken, made a public address to investors and said openly, friends, we have very good prospects. We have very big opportunities. Together, we've performed a huge scope of work. With you, Dr. Unitsky said, I've created an engineering school. With your help, I created a whole engineering company employing more than 1,000 people. With your help, we implemented 2 R&D centers in 2 different countries. Unitsky also said it openly, transparently, and he said, right now, we are in a situation, in a critical situation. Why? Because we created a lot, and that a lot requires a lot of spending monthly. We had partners who were our main source of income or fundraising. And those partners, that fundraising platform, decided to shift their focus on something else. They decided to shift their focus on other projects. They are entitled to do that. Go ahead. We cannot dictate their orientation, business orientation. But we still need to maintain the operation of the entire GTI group of companies. And Unitsky said it openly. He said, Either we lose everything that we've been working for the last 10 years, more than 10 years, or we can work together towards a huge breakthrough in the future. Dr. Nisky on the 19th of January announced that. On the 25th of January, I made a proposal that was accepted, how to get out of the situation that we were in. And that proposal was called GTI Funding Optimization Plan to scale up UST technologies. And that plan was implemented in a very short time with the efforts of every single one of you. So to say that discounts were huge for no reason, no, there was quite a solid reason why it happened. Whether it happened or not, yes, it happened. Dr. Nisky didn't say that everything was peachy. Dr. Nisky said it directly, that we are in a dire situation. And if we don't get out of this situation, everything will be quite the opposite of peachy. So we made a choice. We supported Unitsky and gave the opportunity to GTI group of companies to get up on its feet. And the spending will increase over time, because to scale up, you need to increase personnel. You need to purchase additional technological procurements. Even working on the project in Sosny requires additional investment from the company, because the company is not only performing the intellectual work, but also spends funds because they are designing the rolling stock specifically for Sosny Resort. There are projects where the company has different implementation terms and conditions, and we are at the scaling stage right now. So to say that something is being hidden, no. Everything is transparent and open. That's probably what makes Dr. Nisky strong, and that's why he has such a good reputation. That's Dr. Nisky is calling a spade always, or a rose, and never over-exaggerating or undermining or understating. He puts it always as it is, so don't live under the illusion that it's very easy to do. It's a very difficult process to work in the most corrupted sector, transportation, and to bring the technology that for many competitors will be like a killer technology to the market in such a difficult geopolitical situation is a very difficult task. So let's not wear those pink glasses and take a realistic approach to the world. We're not living in the best of times in the human history. We are facing quite difficult processes when bringing the technology to the market. And then we also have been let down by the seemingly reliable partners who have been supporting the technology for 10 years, and then in the most critical period, they suddenly change course. So what should the company do? Say thank you, everyone, and goodbye? It wouldn't do anything. So yes, the company had to offer discounts that were offered in 2014. So what's not fair about it, dear colleagues? Tell me. The risks were comparable to the risks back in 2014, even bigger risks. Because in 2014, as an investor, I had nothing to lose. I remember I invested £1,000 back then, or a couple of hundreds of pounds, because the first investments were made in pounds. So I invested, and I had no expectations. If it took off, I would be glad. If it didn't take off, I had nothing to lose. But if it took off and I did invest, I would be biting my own elbows. But back then, we had just blueprints and mock-ups. Nothing to lose back in 2014. Whereas we have everything to lose right now, when we have 1,000 engineers employed by the company, when we have thousands of square meters of production facilities and office premises, lots of machinery, engineering school. That's the actual asset. And without the funding optimization plan, probably by now we would have lost everything. On the 28th of March, we would have been talking about USD in the past tense, without over-exaggerating here, without being overly dramatic. Yes, I'm trying to be realistic or realistic optimist, but in this current situation, that's how it is. So it's very even good that with the help of all the investors who supported us, more than 15,000 people who actively participated in the process, we did it, and I would like to thank you for that. So what kind of compensation you're talking about? To compensate for what? In 2014, you became an investor. In 2016, you became an investor. You purchased shares at a particular discount. What should you be compensated specifically? What if you go to the Binance company right now and tell it, 5 months ago, I purchased Bitcoin at 120,000. Now it costs 60 or 66. Compensate the difference of $54,000. From you, 5 months ago, I purchased through your platform the Bitcoin at 120. Now it costs 66. Please pay the difference to my account, $54,000. It's ridiculous, right? Or for example, Apple company publishes news that a producer stopped producing a certain microchip, and the Apple company is dropped by 15%, for example. Will you go to the broker and tell them, compensate the difference to me? That's how the market responded to the news. The Apple shares dropped. It's called correction in the market. It means that you can level or average your investments. Yes, we're not in the stock market right now. It's not shares that we're purchasing, but our discounts, they're still governed by the external and internal factors, just like in the stock market. And the internal factors is the funding, and the external factors are the investment partners that decided to change course. So where is Dr. Unitsky's fault or my fault as head of the marketing department? We had to make decisions, and those decisions were made in the most critical moment, the most important decisions. And I don't like that word, but it's fateful decisions, fate-bearing decisions. We didn't do anything wrong. We had to respond to the situation, and we had to make a decision that helped the company get out of this situation, and we did it. So what kind of compensation are we talking about here? That's not the proper word for it. I guess greed is more like it. People asking that question is probably envious or upset because they purchased pre-IPO shares at one discount in the past, and now newcomers have the same opportunity. If this funding optimization plan didn't happen, then your pre-IPO shares would be just numbers on the screen. That's it. So it was feast or famine, because you can't do anything with those shares right now. You cannot sell them. So it was about survival. And probably your question is more about not compensation, but greed. So, or envy. So colleagues, I hope that questions related to discounts has been long closed ago, and we're not going to go back to it. Next question is, when will financial transparency be available in my personal account? We're looking forward to Unitsky's explanatory webinar. What kind of a webinar are you waiting for? I'm asking the person who asked this question. Dr. Unitsky is, first of all, the author of the technology. He is the chief designer, and he is the chair of the board of directors of the Unitsky String Technologies Incorporated. The money goes to the holding company GTI. That money from GTI goes to UST Incorporated. UST Incorporated provides financial reports on its activities. So the question is, why Unitsky needs to hold explanatory webinars? Dr. Unitsky is engaged in science. Dr. Nitsky is engaged in business in terms of making sure that science is translated into business, and he successfully did it. He put science on paper, then in practice he created an engineering school, and he created 2 commercial products. And now he came forward with a new initiative, creating the Infrastructural Development Corporation, so that that science is commercialized. He is not going to spend time doing webinars, but Dr. Nitsky is open to talk to investors and report on the work he has done as the engineer, first and foremost. As for the financial performance, there is a holding company for this. And that holding company in the near future will also be restructured. And it is written about it. This is written about in the plans on the GTI's website, the document that I showed you before. And after that, after or during the restructuring, when we will be ready to fully go through the license obtaining procedure, which will require full financial reporting, then it will all be provided, I'm sure. We're not going to talk about the structure of the funds. I don't understand why management is making all shareholders nervous and feel unstable. We're tired of putting up with it. We need dividends. I don't know why someone feels unstable. Probably it is related to the fact that some people had too high expectations from the implementation of the project that we're engaged in. You just have to change your attitude and do a reality check and see realistically at what we're doing, what's happening in the world, and stop being nervous. Just accept the situation. Well, I'm answering the question that a partner asked. We're tired of putting up with it. We need dividends. Well, colleagues, as for dividends and remuneration, once this topic is raised, I have an impression that we see already that the technology is up and running in Moscow, that the string transportation technology is up and running in New York. It's operating in New York. In Vietnam, we have a high-speed string unibus is traveling between Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh. Kind of a lot of projects, and the company isn't paying money. That's the kind of impression you're creating with your question. What a horrible situation. Have you read about the news? Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh, U-Pod. And then Minsk, Moscow, another track has been built, right? And then it seems like the company doesn't want to pay from all the money it's making from those implemented projects. Well, of course, I'm being sarcastic here, but that's how the question was asked, as if everything has been implemented already, projects are up and running, and Unitsky is hoarding all the money and doesn't want to pay out for some reason. Colleagues, the company hasn't yet started receiving revenues for the company to be able to pay remuneration to its investors. It's not happening right now, right? So how can we demand dividends or remuneration? All we can do is hope that in the near future there will be more, like dozens of new projects that will bring that revenue, that will turn into profits, and we can share in those profits. Why are you asking this question? We've been discussing that topic from different angles on numerous occasions, and for me it was clear almost every single time, because I'm an investor like you, and I'm not asking those questions to Unitsky. I understand clearly what's happening. I know where I invested my money in. Okay. Regular investors are being left on the sidelines without attention or training, and many are losing faith in the project due to a lack of communication and news. I don't know what news you're talking about. So probably you want me to call every single investor and tell them, you know, dear investor, today a video was published. Go look, watch. Or yesterday there was a conference of scientific board of UST Inc. I don't know what kind of news you're asking for. It's kind of a little bit ridiculous, makes me smile. Please, no offense meant here, but how can you write that there is no like communication and news? News updates are published several times a day sometimes. On YouTube channel, there are videos published and digest published all the time. Dr. Unitsky gives interviews several times a month. So how you can say that there is a lack of news of communication? That's not true. Simply not true. Okay, now we are finally came to the last category, technical support and access. The support team takes days to reply. The first question. Well, friends, I already told you on the 31st of January during our promo, a hacker's DDoS attack happened. I'm talking about RSW systems. A lot of platform administration issues happened, and which impaired the work of the platform, which created extra burden on customer support as well. And of course, when we needed the platform most, this happened, and the customer support team received thousands of tickets. I guarantee that every single ticket will be addressed in the near future if it hasn't been addressed. It's either related to credits or additional pre-IPO shares credited. That's why we're taking a break between the closing down of RSW systems sales and the launch of sales on Micron Global. So please do not complain about the support team right now. There is a reason why it's happening. That's the external factor. Next. Everything related to verification, etc. Friends, you should be working with the customer support and wait for your turn, both on Micron Global and RSW systems. Everything is addressable as part of the ticket submitted in your back office. We want the new platform to offer prompt tech support in Vietnamese, as was the case with SWC. Yes, we already have an employee who speaks Vietnamese, so we have everything ready for our productive work. Okay, friends, we have 600 people left at the end of our meeting. I answered almost all of the questions that you asked in the form, so I am glad that we have so many people left and still who haven't dropped out. And please give me some feedback, dear colleagues, regarding the answers to the questions that we've just heard. Give me your feedback in the chat. Give me some fire, hearts, thumbs up, likes, and everything you want to write and say or express. Dmitry, could you please enable the chat? Tens, nice. Hearts, everything is clear. Thank you. Very good. I understand. Applause, nice. Hearts. Maksym, amazing. Please, England? Well, yes, with England and other countries, I'm sorry, we cannot accept you as clients, but I hope this year we will address this issue, don't worry. So you as a user can be registered on the platform. You cannot be verified, but follow the updates and Just follow the news, what's happening with the company and UST, GTI, and our platform. So I'm always grateful to the chairperson and the manager. Chairperson this is how our Vietnamese partners calling Dr. Initsky, like chair of the board. So thank you very much for your hearts, for your stars, fireworks, and suns that you are sending. So colleagues, I would like to thank you all, and I would like to wait for from you applications for local conferences and meetings online. And on the 5th, be active. It's very important before the start. And then with 3 p.m. Minsk time on Sunday, we're going to have an official meeting dedicated to the launch of the sales on Micron Global. And I will be waiting for feedback from our leaders regarding their participation in the teleconference, so that at 3 p.m. On the 5th of April, Minsk time, you would be able to patch in live from your location to our conference and show our huge activity. By the way, the terms for the conditions for what kind of places you can get together and patch in from can be discussed with Dmitry and me if you want me to. We can assist you with advice and support. So, friends, thank you very much. Thank you for the time that you allocated. We had a very productive work. I think every time we'll have fewer and fewer questions. If I might have offended someone today regarding my comments or jokes, I'm truly sorry if it was unpleasant, but let me tell you that you should also be taking some things with understanding, because after so much time, so many years, some things should already be clear. And in my opinion, some of the things are lying there on the surface and should be apparent. And it kind of, when I hear those things, it sometimes makes me smile and wonder how one cannot understand such things. But I'm sorry again if I was too rough, or please also understand my situation as well. Okay, colleagues, thank you very much, and I would like to wish you a wonderful weekend and productive work that you're already doing and will keep on doing next week. See you on the 5th of April at 3 p.m. Minsk time, and bye-bye, everyone.